This video is about the difference between quantity and quality prospecting. What you're going to walk away with is an understanding of how and why you should have a healthy mix of both and what to do about it. So, depending on your role, if you're an inside sales rep who's just constantly making cold calls and setting up meetings, or a field rep who's really on the road a lot and really has no time to make a ton of cold calls, you really have to analyze the quantity versus quality. Usually if you don't have a lot of time and you're in the field, you really need to be focused on quality. Or if you're inside and you're being measured to 50 dials a day, you got to get the quantity up there. But there needs to be a healthy mix of both. You can't do all one or the other, because then you kind of get yourself in trouble. If you did all quality, you'd probably only send out 2 emails a month or a week. If you did all quantity, then you'd just be burning through lists and probably annoying a lot of people. So think about prospecting, right? We all have our A, B, and C prospects. You got your great ones, your average ones, and your crappy ones. Make sure you're doing something to demographically profile your list. So as you're going through and making your calls, you're gathering nuggets of information to help you better qualify the opportunities that you have in your lead list. Then when you really identify the A's based on industry size, number of employees, whatever it is, when you really identify those A's, those are the ones you really spend some quality time with. So ideally you have a top 10 prospecting list of clients that you really want to get into. Those are the ones that you step back and you do some research on their website. You put together a why you now email, like we've talked about in this training, and you're really strategic about your approach there. Now on the other hand, your B's, your B prospects, kind of your average ones, those are the ones you can kind of do the quantity approach with. So as it relates to this session, attention grabbers. Attention grabbers are those one-line attention-grabbing statements that really try and solicit the how do you do that response. So what you can do is you can come up with, for instance, a really strong attention grabber to CFOs, and then run a list in your database of all the B opportunities or the B prospects, and make cold calls into them with that very strong value proposition just to CFOs. And you say the same thing over and over and over again. The reason for my call today is we show CFOs how to fill in the blank, and you just kind of rinse repeat, and you see how that approach works, so you can get the quantity up there. And then, not to ignore the C's, I used to actually ignore the C's. I'd say get them out of my database, but now I use them for one very specific purpose, which is practice. Anytime I'm practicing a new approach, I run a list of all the C's in my database, and I just start throwing up all over myself. I start trying something, saying whatever, because it really doesn't matter, because they wouldn't be good clients anyways. But I don't want to stumble and bumble all over myself with the B's and the A's. So I'm going to use my C's to build my confidence and figure out which approaches work, so that then I can go to my B's and my A's. So the takeaway here is segment your prospecting. A's, B's, and C's. For the A's, quality. Spend some time. Have a top 10 list. B's, quantity. Come up with really strong attention grabbers and just start making some phone calls and seeing which ones work. C's, practice. Good luck and happy selling.